recording has been started.
Alright, who wants to give a recap?
I can.
Go for it.
So we, I believe we head out of the, shrine, sneak around the now respawned encounter, and find Highbold of the unknown epithet and last name. Actually, he probably doesn't have an epithet yet, but, find Highbold on his enormous fucking, nightmare horse. And he, to his mind, probably says something to us. We cannot understand him. So, combat begins. We attempt to time out the horse, but the horse can teleport. Manage to dissipate the horse. He never can get the horse back. Rip to him. He gets put in a pit. And then 3 party members? 3? Jump into the pit.
Yes. Me, Asha, and Cyrus. Cyrus. Jesus. I'm
Pit gang,
Cyrus.
pit gang,
Pit gang.
Yeah.
pit gang.
We do manage to deal with him. Get his ring that'll let us summon a magic summon another magic horse. Get his sword, which is kind of fancy. And the cavern is open to us if we want to go that way.
Why not?
I think we were kind of beat up at the end there, but we got fixed up, I think.
There was certainly magical healing done, I think.
I think Asha did his usual path of glory, which should have gotten people 20 HP back.
Yeah.
Even if we weren't under the effect of Raging Song?
I'm assuming you would have accepted it?
It's just that you hadn't started it while we were in the fight, I think.
Well, then let's assume for the sake of my brain that I actually, at the end when the healing started, would have done that.
I think you did have it going at some point, because I remember using the temp HP at some point.
I feel like I did my normal Path of Glory shit, and anytime I'm doing the Path of Glory shit, even if I don't have a Raging Song going, assume that I started the Raging Song to make it good. When we're out of combat, I mean.
Sorry.
So yeah, we can spelunk for a little bit, or we can attempt to make our way back and connect to Summerport, and also trade with Summerport.
You have shit to trade with Summerport.
We got wares to sell.
Yes, so that essentially sums up your options. The mouth of the cave looms before you. Dim and dark inside. What would you like to do?
I mean, on the one hand, temptation to enter a cave. Gotta be up there with the strongest sensations in the world.
I don't think that's very wise.
No, I don't think it's wise either. But I didn't say it was wise. I said it was very, very tempting.
Well, he kind of like looks over the body that we destroyed. Without its things, maybe it will be easier to attack if it comes back.
That's true.
So we can just get rid of some of the items we've found. Maybe gather some more information about this place that we haven't already found ourselves. And you might be able to fight the lizard again.
You're so thoughtful, Cypress.
That's one of the qualities I'm known for.
I can see why.
Cypress doesn't say anything else.
I love Cypress so much.
So the choice
So
is
back
to
to Summerport, trade, see what we can find. Out of character, see if we can pick up some side quests.
Yeah, that seems like the smart bitch stratagem. We don't know how fast travel works yet. We have
Yes, we do.
vials, but we Have we
We've gotten the
fast
tooltip about how fast travel works, but we haven't connected Summerport for fast travel.
no. What I'm saying is we have not successfully fast traveled yet.
Yeah.
No, aside
So
from
we
you
don't-
dying to test the water thing.
That's different from fast traveling.
That is true.
We haven't actually done the fast travel thing. Maybe we should try fast traveling to one of the close ones so we know for sure we can get back here.
Sure. I mean,
We have
there's,
fast travel instructions, right?
yes.
Highbold's pool is right there, so we can
We could
blip across town to make sure that it works.
or we could go to the one in town.
I don't like that it destroys my things.
We can stow it away safely somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, but like, if this is how we're gonna be traveling, how am I gonna bring things back with me if it like destroys them? Unless I know it reconstructs them, but that's weird. Is it the same?
You know what? That's very fair.
It can reconstruct me all at once, but like the things, it's gonna be different. I know,
Okay.
right?
But if you think about it, there was this famous gnome. He had a boat. And he left from somewhere and he had a bunch of wood. And his boat kept breaking, so he had to replace all the bits of the boat.
Yeah.
And he did it slowly over time. And by the end, he'd replaced every bit of his boat. But
Yeah.
it was still his boat, you know? It was still his
But
boat.
it was but it was a different boat.
But it was his boat. It was still his boat.
But it was made of different things.
But it was the same boat.
Was it? Is it?
Yeah. It was the same boat.
I don't think so.
I think it was.
Norm is not a take I expected today.
I think it's the same boat. Because it's his thing. And he Cybus does say fuck the ship of Theseus.
Cybus
Not the
has
ship
an
of
answer
Theseus
to
anymore, motherfucker.
Cybus has an answer to the ship of Theseus, and the answer is it's not the same boat.
Asha has the other answer, which is that it is the same boat. It's not like he changed the boat. It's not like wood got put in different places where there wasn't wood before.
Man still has a boat.
And man, he still has a boat. Yeah, right?
But what about the artifact of it? It's historical. It's the original thing.
That's true. But
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
Because
well,
it's not as old as it was because it would be brand new.
Yeah, even if it looked the same.
Yeah, but it would be brand new, and we would
Yeah.
know it was brand new.
Yeah.
So we couldn't say it was this really old thing. Because it would be
Yeah.
new.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, it's like, ah,
I see.
Well,
see
think
if
about
it,
it this way. You're being reconstructed yourself at the same age you were. Does that make you a newborn when you come back into your body that's the same age it was in decomposition?
Oh,
okay, but I'm not an object.
To
I
the
mean, I
pools you
think
are.
we're all objects in a sense.
Are we?
To the
My
pools you're an
asphalt doesn't
object.
have blood in it.
Yeah, but some objects have blood in them. Like a vial full of
What
blood.
objects?
A vial full of blood, or a
Oh,
bowl full
true.
of blood, or a sword full of blood.
Where do you fill the sword with blood? Wait, where does the
It
blood go?
swords when they
Oh,
have
when you
blood in
use
them.
them, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
get
you
blood in
use them,
them.
and then they're part blood. Yeah.
Yes, yes. That's how swords work. So you have blood in you, but that does not preclude you from being an object. Many objects also have blood in them. And when you die, you are definitely an object, and there's still blood in you.
I haven't died yet
Jose,
though.
I died.
Edhoro will like speak up and be like, if these objects belong to this civilization, do you not think they haven't been through the pool before?
That's fair. And I can
That's
leave my
also true.
I can leave my I can leave my non-civilization objects here, right? And then like because I'm just gonna be getting new civilization objects, like assuming we go further into the civilization later, you know? So if like we
Yeah,
go further in, I can leave my non-civilization. That's you're a smart creature. To Adara.
Edhora seems to kind of. I think Edhora, like me, has sort of lost how you got to this conclusion.
Don't worry, Cypress
So
is just as lost.
they will simply nod.
Well, I want to test that it still works. So I'm going to attempt to use this pool to go over to the other one.
So, following the instructions in the sachet of sample waters, I'm going to switch the music actually because we should be doing the village music, and not the loading screen music.
I forgot to put on music in the background.
You dip your pinky finger into the water from the pool in the center of town, and place a drop of it inside your mouth. And then, following instructions, you are to enter the pool and fully submerge yourself. Renza gives me the vibe of somebody who's going to use the ladder.
Yes.
You all watch Renza sort of sink into the water. Her clothing sort of very quickly becoming saturated, the long cloak sort of floating at the top of the pool. Once you are down in it and have sort of. The ladder continues going down for quite a bit, but when you hit about neck length, you push off from it and you have to tread water. It seems like a fairly deep thing.
Does it seem deeper than Hybold was tall?
Yeah, I would say you're able to see that, yeah.
They expected him to get really fucking big. Well, they expected whatever came out of here to get really fucking big. That's a thought right
And
now.
you suck in a bit of air and you dive. The instructions simply say, submerge yourself. And nothing more detailed. You're not sure if you need to swim all the way down to the bottom, if there's something that will indicate to you what happens, or if you need to drown. And as you are trying to figure out what the next step for you is to be, your skin starts to kind of buzz a little bit.
What was that?
Your skin starts to buzz a little bit. Sort of like...
Okay.
Sort of like the way it feels when you get like a really fancy like pedicure or manicure and they use like the Epsom salts and the pumice stone. It's very rough and you kind of end up feeling sort of tingly afterwards. I don't know if
Understand, but that is never an experience I have had.
And then it grows stronger and stronger. Almost like you're becoming something. Renza doesn't know what static is.
Yeah.
But it almost... If she did, it would feel as though her entire being was fuzzing out into static. And everyone on the surface of the pool watches as you see Renza sort of... Crucially, it's not gory. It's not even bloody. It's not explicit in any way. But you watch Renza dissolve.
Just like in hit video game, several of them.
Yeah. It actually doesn't take too long. Not quite blink and you miss it, but less than a minute before any hint of Renza, her body, her things, anything, and Hara even, vanish. And Renza, the next thing you know, the static shifts and starts to lift and lessen. And as you are able to start thinking again, you are still submerged in water, but the sunlight pattern is different. It's cooler, as if you were not necessarily shaded because you can see the sunlight, but it definitely feels cooler. And as you kick up towards the surface, your head breaks into the air, and you are in a small pool raised maybe 6 inches off the ground with a ring of stones around you in the center of town. Still dressed, still carrying your things.
Okay. Remember out of the pool, start squeezing, start just like water off. I realized I don't really have a way to communicate to the party that it worked. She does, however, want to ask Adhara what
Adhara is not with you.
Oh. Huh.
You sort of turn to look for Adhara, and
Discorporated.
yeah, as a summoner, you have a bit of a connection to the things that you summon. This sort of feeling in your consciousness of just kind of what I imagine it's like to be Google Street Map.
God.
Where you have your whole thought process, but then there's like a little flag somewhere in your brain tracking something. Not even necessarily with your concentration, just sort of, it's happening. And it's not necessarily, always like you're able to tell where things are, but you're able to kind of at least be aware of when the things that you've summoned are still on the prime material plane.
Yeah.
You cannot feel Adhara.
Huh.
Not on this plane, at least. There's a little feeling inside of you that indicates that your connection is still there. Just that Adhara is wherever Adhara goes when they are not actively summoned.
Yeah, okay. Since they're not here at the moment, I will summon them back in a second, but I can solve the need to let the party know where I am problem. In that I will summon... Honestly, probably just, like... probably call a couple of eagles out of smoke. Because they are very distinct from the village birds.
Yes. For one, that they are birds.
What was that?
And normal birds. In
Yeah. And sort of direct them towards the cave and to just circle the group of people. Just let them know, hey, I'm here, it worked.
The rest of you watch Renza dissolve. Adhara evaporates into smoke next to you.
I was gonna ask.
And as you're all, yeah. And as you're all kind of standing there, going, huh? About, I don't know, 2-3 minutes later. How many eagles are there, Joe?
I just rolled for that. There are 3 of these gold-flecked shadowy eagles.
3 large eagles, again, gold-flecked and sort of shadowy in that way that Renza's summons are, with the exception of Adhara, sort of start to come into view overhead. And they swoop down towards you, not menacingly, but just sort of getting within, not even necessarily grabbing range, but just over your heads. They circle once, twice, and then fly back toward the center of town.
Cypress is just gonna huff a little bit and go after the eagles.
Asha wants to dissolve.
Okay. unlike Renza, I feel like when you have to submerge yourself, it is more of a very quick, just sort of cannonball splash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And as I have described the process for Renza, it occurs to you as well. And you find yourself in the pool of water in the center of town.
Renzi, you dissolved.
What was that?
You dissolved. Like you just melted in there.
That sounds spectacularly unpleasant.
It didn't. Well, I guess I don't know if it looked unpleasant. It probably did look unpleasant thinking back on it. I didn't think of it that way. But it didn't feel unpleasant for me. Did it feel unpleasant for you?
I don't know if unpleasant's the word I'd pick, but it was definitely weird.
I liked it. I think Cypress and Cyrus are coming the normal way. Thank you for the birds.
Elith is also
I figured.
trudging along.
Elith is also
Yeah,
coming
I
the normal
figured
way.
you would appreciate it. I figured it would be appreciated knowing that it had worked and that I hadn't just been thrown into the void or something.
Oh, I was going to jump in after you anyway, but I'm sure the others appreciated it.
And I'm gonna resummon at her while the others are trudging over, possibly avoiding any maybe encounter here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be too mean, and I'm gonna let you, particularly because you know where all of the encounters for this area now are.
Stealthy bitch hours.
Your ability to kind of skirt around and make your way into town by the time Adhara is back. And your two companions are there, soaking wet. Though,
Chilling.
yeah,
All their
starting
belongings?
to be less immediately drippy.
With all of their belongings?
Yes, all of their belongings.
Are you guys gonna have to get soaking wet every time?
You
Oh,
have to
yeah,
submerge.
I think so. And by I think so, I mean yes.
Okay,
It's about the water.
that's not a problem for me. I'm kind of like a water guy myself.
You look like a water guy yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. But I know that, like, being wet bothers some people.
Cypress shrugs.
Yeah. I think
And
if
some
being
people really
wet
care.
bothered us, we would have a problem every time we died.
Yeah. You ever,
Because
like,
of the wetness
just
of it
do some...
all.
I mean, I haven't died yet, so I wouldn't know, but it does look pretty wet down there.
Oh, it is wet because it's in water.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
you ever see, like, a guy fall off a boat and then they're really mad, they're, like, in the water and wet, and it's like, buddy, you fell off the boat, you know?
My brother in Christ, you fell off the boat.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you could have not fallen off the boat and it would have been fine. You wouldn't be, like, mad that you're wet now.
Never seen
Like,
someone fall off the boat, but it sounds very
I've-
funny.
I've been, like, you swim up near the surface just for, like, some funsies. You see a boat, and then you see someone fall off the boat, and then they're in the water. And then they see you and they, like, start screaming because they don't expect, things to be out, people-shaped things to be out here. And it's like, I don't know what else I can, like, do. I'm just existing. You're the one who entered my space.
I know that feeling very well.
You're the one who just strolled into my room and are now criticizing the fact that I'm in my room. What the fuck?
Yeah, like, you were doing perfectly fine on the boat. I was doing perfectly fine in the water. It's not my fault you're here. I'm not gonna eat you. Stop screaming.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my god, it's they think that like things that swim in the water are gonna eat them, and it's like, no,
Well,
I'm uninterested. I
I
got
guess
plenty of fish.
some water things do eat larger things, but then some land things do eat people. So, like,
Yeah, guess that's
somebody
should
could
have
have
stayed
been
on the
wanting to
boat.
keep them on the boat. You don't know.
People
They
always
could have been at
expect
risk
the
for being
water
eaten
ones.
anywhere. I mean, hell.
No, I don't think they'd bring things that would want to eat them onto the boat. I think
Well,
the
not
like
if
being
they
on the
know
boat
about
is
it.
where you're safe from both of those things.
You're
Land,
safe from the land things and the water things.
yeah. So stay on the boat.
Should we get on a boat?
Probably not. I wouldn't. I mean, considering I've seen people fall off it, I feel like
Oh,
you'd
yeah.
fall off it just for fun, and it's really hard to get you back on the boat once you fall off, so maybe we should avoid boats until we've got, like, a surefire way to get you back on the boat,
Ah, right. Right.
I have carried many a mortal soul who has drowned from a boat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Edward. Thank you for your contribution to the conversation.
They nod.
What was that? PK?
They nod.
Thank you for your
No, I
contribution
was
to
also
the
talking about that.
conversation. Sorry, I couldn't keep a straight face or an
Oh
ashy
my
voice.
god.
You are discovering what
Horace.
it's like to. You are discovering what it's like to play with me on Thursdays, where my entire character is like this, but about the ocean.
Yeah, about the
And
ocean
Horace-
instead of death.
And Horace says something edgy, and we're just like, that's cool, anyway.
Thanks, Tara.
That's my little guy. Don't be mean to them.
Crucially, I
being
need you to
edgy.
know. Yeah, they don't mean to be like an edgelord or anything. They're not doing that. They're just like stating this like a fact.
God
Yeah.
bless.
Iconic.
That's cool.
Hmm.
Unironically.
So if
You
we're
guys-
gonna have
Boats are safe, and Anhara was like, demonstrably they are not.
I love them.
I don't.
Just wish
I mean-
people would stay on the boat.
That's why if people were just on the boat and not. So clearly the problem is not the boat, it's the being off of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just stay on the
I don't
boat.
think I've ever been on a boat.
Have you carried anyone who died on the boat? Not off the boat. On the boat without having gotten off the boat.
Yes.
What
They're
happened?
usually stabbed or shot.
Oh, so like
That's a
murdered.
different problem.
That's when you bring people who aren't cool onto your boat.
Yeah. Or they sometimes they get on their boat uninvited,
Oh yeah. Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not
They just
fun.
they just like get up close and then they like
A fun
put-
surprise boat guest.
yeah, they just like jump on there and it's like, whoa, how are you gonna get back? But they get back anyways because they like bring rope with them and get them all close. I think. I don't know. I stay away from that stuff.
They
'Cause,
should
like,
make little
they-
bridges for boats. Like to put between
Sometimes-
boats? Like little bridges.
think- they probably should. They might now. I don't know. It's been a little bit since I've gone and watched boats do stuff.
That's true. Who knows?
got kinda-
Modern technology forever advancing.
You
Not
know,
really.
like, yeah, true. The surface is only like really interesting when you're like a kid, and then you're an adult and you're like, oh wow, there's a lot of stuff under the water, much cooler. And you stay
Right.
down there for a while.
I've never been under the water.
You might have a problem with the whole breathing thing.
The breathing thing, yeah. I bet I could figure it out.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I could.
Got, like, got spells and stuff?
Oh, there's gotta be spells for it.
Hmm.
There's spells for a lot of things.
Rude. You can do a lot with spells. You can do some messed up stuff with spells.
That's also very true. Anyway, I'm Rod Sterling.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Anyway.
Asher.
What are you doing now? Oh, Cypress.
Cypress is just... Asher.
Cypress?
Can you do that thing where you can comprehend no languages when you see them?
Yes, I can.
Like today?
If you want me to. Like right now?
I mean, it doesn't have to be right now.
Well,
But I might have something that would be of an interest since I heard the both of you talking on our way here about how you liked... What was it? Artifacts, relics, whatever, I don't know.
old things, yes.
Old things. Well,
Things that are old.
I have a journal that's very old.
Oh, and it's in a language that is different than one you speak.
Yes. But
So you want me to comprehend languages so that I can comprehend the languages?
somewhat. I haven't been able to find anyone who knew how to...
Comprehend the
It's-
languages?
Sure. Let's go with that. And he's going to pull out the journal that he had from his caretaker.
The journal that Cypress pulls out, does look very fucking old.
Yeah.
And pretty large, too.
Very well bound, though.
Mhm.
In really sturdy leather. And it's very plain, actually. And Ren, if you want to disagree with me at any point, let me know.
Oh, you're good.
It's very plain, but there is a belt around the middle of it to help keep it closed.
Mhm.
And the metal of the belt buckle is tarnished, but between that and the quality of leather, this must have been at some point a very high-end book
Mhm.
or journal. If you want any more information about the journal itself, I will have you roll. I am looking at a character sheet. Either an appraise or a history.
Well, I'm gonna give you one guess.
History?
You damn right. 23, lame. I must have rolled bad on that.
Okay.
All right. So, just from the sort of first glance over, you're not able to date it to a specificality, but the style of manufacture and the quality of the manufacture and things like the regularity of the leather and the high quality but thinness of the pages indicates to you pre-collapse.
Yeah.
How far pre-collapse, you're not sure,
Okay.
but unless there's someone out there like fucking handcrafting like this level of quality and turning out like a journal a year or some shit, like this is almost certainly pre-collapse. The thinness of the paper alone would put it in the before times.
Yeah.
I know a lot about paper making. It's really hard to get thin paper that doesn't fall apart. But there it is.
I feel interested.
Yeah. Very well made, so pre-collapse, but high end. Probably belonged to someone who either had themselves or had connections to wealth of some level. Though for that, it is shockingly undecorated. Lots of high-end Akavian relics tend to be a bit more ornate, be a bit more depending on the exact time period, like the aesthetic I'm trying to like give to you is something between Art Deco and the Las Vegas Strip.
All right. Good to know.
Lots of bright colors, lots of geometric pattern, lots of glitter and shine and glow and light. This has none of that. It's very understated. And when you open it up, you are initially expecting probably a Kavian. It doesn't look like a Kavian.
Well, this doesn't look like a Kavian.
Cypress just kind of shrugs a little bit.
With the 23... With the 23, you can't identify the language.
Alright.
Though you can tell it is not a Kavian or a Ka, depending on who's talking about it and wants to call it what.
The only thing I was able to make out was the fact that there was dates, so this must have been an accounting of some sort. I have no clue.
Yeah, there is one thing, PK, Asha, about as you look at some of the pages. I didn't mean to cut you off, Ren. The way that the text is arranged does appear to be in line with a lot of ways diaries and personal journals and bookkeeping records and things of that nature were written and arranged.
Makes sense.
you doing comprehend languages?
I am, yes.
Can I have the actual text of the spell, please?
Let me find the actual text of the spell. Oh wait, do I have it in my smart bitch? Should I put it in my thing? So smart. I'm not so smart. Comprehend languages. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed.
No, you're
There
good.
we go. I'll just give a link to the 20 PFSRD page. You understand the spoken word of creatures or read otherwise incomprehensible written messages. The ability to read does not necessarily impart insight into the material, meaning merely its literal meaning. The spell enables you to understand or read an unknown language, not speak or write it.
Okay.
It also has stuff about, like, warding magic that can get rid of it, or shit.
Yeah. So you bring up the spell, and the writing does not shift, but it glows under your vision in the way that indicates some sort of magical component to the script.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot read it.
Well, that's fun.
Cypress for a moment looks a little bit excited. Just the little bit. And then it goes away.
Okay, so this has some kind of magic on it. I can't tell you exactly what just yet, but that makes it resistant to writing or to reading by magical means. Or perhaps it has unrelated magic on it, and it is written in some secret code rather than an actual language. Either is very possible. There's definitely magic on it. You got a very nice journal here. It's very old.
It was something that was forgotten in one of my caretaker's places. Considering her age, I believe it to be hers.
I can't help you with it now, but I will be able to help you with it at some point.
He cocks his head a little bit.
I'm going to think about how I might be able to undo the magic or see through the magic temporarily. And it might take me a while to think about, because these things take time. But I am going to help you read this.
Cypress kind of sits up a little bit straighter and kind of gives a slight nod. I would appreciate that.
Of course.
He's going to take the journal back now and put it back in its safe place. He does so very
Vibes.
carefully.
Has this been going on as perhaps you are walking back towards Summerport?
Yes.
That would be a lovely idea.
Conversation. Is this something we can do while we walk?
Yes.
Yes. Somebody will have had to put their hands on Ash's shoulders while they were reading, and examining to make sure that they weren't gonna fall into one of the sinkholes.
Mm-hmm. Cypress can
although
lead
that
as
would
well.
have been funny.
Yeah. Cypress can lead too, since his survival's pretty good.
Mhm.
Make me a survival check.
Cool. Oh, this one wasn't updated, so this needs to be an 8. I don't know why it was a 7. It was supposed to be an 8. No! My character sheet booted me out again. Hold on. I know it's a +8. Let me just use my other dice. Let's use the Opal dice. That one's a good one. Okay. Oh, that's only 10 plus 18?
Yeah. As you start to sort of make your way back out of town, once you start to hit the forest passage, it starts to kind of become much harder walking. At least in terms of keeping your bearings. Finding the lizard pool is not very difficult. And as you approach the clearing, you can see it sort of digging in some of the mud around the pond. And before you get a chance to do anything, it sort of stiffens, and its head swings in your direction as if it has noticed you. But it decides it has better things to do than die again.
God bless.
And you watch it scramble off very quickly off to the side in the direction you know its nesting area to be.
Awesome. Yeah, Cypress
Did
just
we
holds
have
a sickle
pond water
ready.
from this pond?
I think we did, yeah. Because we specifically... Well, no, we grabbed some of the moss. We need some of the water, though.
Yeah, we've got I think we have a moss sample from this pond.
Yeah.
I would
so-
like to get a pond water sample very quickly.
Absolutely.
Fucking acquire.
So that we can keep harassing this lizard.
My favorite part of this description is water sample taken from the forest pond. Slightly ashy.
Oof.
The actual travel back to Summerport does take, in total, about 3 days.
Okay.
Walking straight without getting sort of sidetracked by anything else, and sort of knowing where you're going. And that doesn't quite track to you, and then you think about, like, how long you might have spent in the pool and going back and forth with the lizard, and, like, trying to track all that information. In total, takes about a three day walk.
Okay.
And as you go, particularly as you hit the first line of trees, the distant metal spire very quickly disappears from view. The walk back is mostly peaceful unless you all are going bear hunting.
Nah.
Fucked up little
So the
bears.
level up would process over this travel, right?
The level up would process, yes. Congratulations.
Yo.
You are also, if you wish, able to stop by the Mosquito Cave to get a water sample for that as well.
Yes.
Because we do want to try and get directions from the Mosquito Cave back to Summerport so that people who die in Summerport can actually get...
The distance from the cave and the town is, particularly now that you know like a straight shot, Cypress is able to find a straight shot. Only about an hour and a half.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Part of it is the process of finding it took so long.
Yeah.
But the walk, if you were to make it in the most, like, efficient way, hour and a half.
Nice.
and you are very quickly able to make your way back to the village of Summerport.
Woo,
Heck
Summerport.
Fantastic.
Don't mind the DM
Oh,
screen as
I also got a second shifter aspect at 5th level. Fuck yeah.
Yo.
Now I gotta decide on which one I want for that. Jesus.
What am I?
don't mind me.
You're okay.
I mind.
Hmm?
I am just out here situating the landing screen.
Oh yeah.
Bitches be
Okay, so that-
situating.
Then a deflection bonus to AC.
I could add, if I put the bull as my my second shifter aspect, I could get a +2 enchantment bonus to my strength score in the minor form.
Kinda spicy.
Yeah, I could have a 20 strength at that point. That's tempting. I'll put that on the back burner.
The village of
Oh, yeah.
Summerport is exactly how you left it.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Small but bustling for its size. You pass the farm. Oh, sorry.
You're good.
That Marcelin Frostwald lives at, and you spot a couple of people in the fields, though unless you call out to them, they don't particularly stop you. A couple of folks kind of give you a little bit of a weird look when they realize from what direction you're approaching town, but whatever.
Yeah.
A
Go
couple
talk
of
to
them, a couple of them seem to recognize you all as the group of people that were hired by the mayor. But that's about it. Asha?
No.
You sure? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, I was saying that to myself and I forgot that I was unmuted, so anything that I said, please ignore.
Okay. What would you all like to do? The people in town that you have a contact with are the mayor, Emmett, the doctor, Garrett Ludsworth,
Garrett, that's his name.
and then 4 other individuals: the tailor, the blacksmith, the town tinkerer, and then Marcelin Frostwald, who works at the farm.
Should we talk to the mayor first?
Mayor first to give some of what we found and the clear directions.
I want to tell Garrett he was right.
About the curse? What? Sorry, me as Ren has forgotten.
About the lost civilization.
Right.
I just think he'll think that's fun.
Cypress
Yeah,
plants.
you're right. I think that is a good conversation to have.
And I think it's good for people to have a little fun. But we can talk to the mayor first.
The mayor is easily locatable within City Hall. It seems to be a very small thing. It seems to be him and like maybe 2 assistants. So when you all enter, it's not too long before Emmett is found and brought to you. The Tabaxi man, not Tabaxi, he's a cat folk, fucking Pathfinder.
Yeah.
It's
the
more
cat.
descriptive.
It's more sure. You sort of see like that sort of cat-like ear prick up as you come into his vision. All right. So what's the report? What's the situation? It's been quite a few days.
So, very good news. We found the pool and a route that people can follow to take the pool to get back here.
Grand.
The second bit of news I would say is more neutral, because I don't know if we could call it good news. But it's not bad news. What do you know about the kingdom of Nudora?
Can't say the name rings a bell.
Alright, so... The kingdom of Nudora, brief history lesson. Very brief. Very old. Went missing. Long time ago. Lost all contact with the outside world. Had extremely, interesting magical and technological developments. Including, well,
The thing where people come back from having died.
rebirth, I suppose you could call it. And they had a series, quite a wide array of these pools where people would be, reborn from. And it seems like that, phenomenon is spreading outward. Towards
You see-
here.
He kind of nods, like he's processing.
Uh-huh.
So. Okay, that's... Well, I guess that's all very well and good, but what are we going to do about it?
Well, if you're asking how to prevent it or stop it, haven't the foggiest. If you're asking, if there's more you can do with it, absolutely. But I don't know what you want from the situation exactly.
Frankly, I was just kind of expecting some sort of curse. Or... something.
If it's a curse, I've never seen one like this before.
I think it's just way more exciting, although way more complex than your average curse. More like, unintended consequences of centuries of hubris. But not your own.
Cypress nods.
Well, that'll be a first for some people in town to know. That it's not my hubris or ambition. I know what I meant.
No, it was funny, I liked it.
There are some warnings that we'll probably want to give Master Garrett and you. about some of the things that we have seen this effect have?
Yeah, you probably don't want to come back too terribly many times.
Mutations seem to be occurring to those who come back too often.
Okay.
On the
So
one
I-
hand, you can get big, which could be appealing to some people. On the other hand, you could turn from a very, very small lizard that doesn't breathe fire to a very large lizard that does, which could also be appealing to some people, but I imagine most people are not lizards.
I mean, we do have a couple lizard folk in town. Doesn't matter. Right, so
Poor man.
if that's the case, I'm seeing a bit of a problem here.
We have reason to believe that
We
it's
don't-
only when it happens a lot.
Let's
Yes.
just
I mean,
say
we're
that.
fine.
Let's just say that going back at least 10 times, probably all right. Go
But
a few hundred, you're cooked.
there is the problem of we don't know how to keep people from coming back with this. So it's
He like snaps his fingers and points directly at
there
you,
is the
Renza,
problem.
as you articulate this.
There's no
I
way
mean,
we'd
that
be
is-
able to find it.
That sort of was the problem with, well, with the little town we found, I think, is that you don't stop it. You can't stop it.
Can't stop.
There's no
Yeah.
stopping it. Based on my
Perhaps we
impression.
should not give our employer a crisis.
Oh, was that
Oh.
crisis-inducing?
I mean, I guess it's a crisis for Marcelin and the others.
Well, they should just avoid dying more than once. If it's that big a
that's-
concern.
I think this may be a help. It seems that if somebody's life runs its natural course, that they will not be reanimated.
Okay.
As in,
I don't want to wait years. I don't want to wait years to find out if that's actually true.
Well, considering the fact that there's no one else that seems to know the ins and out of this currently, I think that's what you'll have to deal with. Until we can figure something
Although-
out.
To be fair, I intend to go back and find out more. So, and it's really not that far of a trip now. So, you know.
Cypress nods.
we can
We are
always
going to
keep
seek out more
regularly
information and see if there's a way that we can disable whatever this is. Perhaps at least selectively, at least enough to help the town.
Okay. Do we know how, like, we get incorporated into this?
seems to just be a progression outward from through the water sources. All of the pools and springs we found were fed underground. So,
Wait,
You
our
know.
character, very quickly. Did the fountain and Highbold's pool have moss as well, or is that just...
Yes, it did.
There's also some kind of a moss that we've found at all of the sites that we've either seen or experienced this kind of phenomena from.
Moss sample. We have a moss sample.
If you show him the sample of moss, he looks at it and goes, I mean, yeah,
regular
that's
fucking
moss.
It's just moss.
Listen, I was a sailing merchant, and now I'm a mayor.
Fair
Have you
enough.
ever fallen off a boat?
No, thank goodness.
That's
Well,
good.
small boats and lakes, but not in the sea. My point is, I don't know much about magic or moss or even history, I guess. I just think, and maybe call me crazy on this one, the being reborn until you get really big seems like a bad thing
Oh, absolutely.
to happen.
It is.
I would like it to not happen, actually.
We're gonna see if
Well,
we can figure out how to stop it from happening.
alright, yeah. If, listen, you've already done what I asked you to do, and I can give you what I promised, but. And I can't really offer much more or at least nothing as big, I think, as this request might be. But I'm willing to make sure you're always stocked on food and that sort of thing, if you'd be willing to stick around and maybe try to not have everyone turn into fire lizards. What?
Oh yeah,
That's fine.
I was gonna do that anyway, just for, you know, the curiosity of it all.
We'll also, one of the things we can also do is highlight areas where we know certain creatures range are, like the aforementioned giant fire lizard. There is one thing I'm trying to figure out.
One thing?
Yeah, one thing.
One thing relevant to Summerport in specific, rather than this whole situation.
I mean, I know a lot about this town. That's one thing that I do know a lot about.
You've been having a lot of problems with more predatory animals recently, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you know if any of them have seemed off? My current theory is that the animals started getting affected by whatever this is before it reached you guys. So I'm curious if...
They were aggressive before, correct?
I mean, yeah. They were aggressive, unusually aggressive against a settlement. But I mean, I guess if they're going up against big fire lizards for prey, I understand. As to the animals themselves, you might have a better... Maybe talk to the butcher? Or...
The butcher and the leather worker we can both speak to.
Yeah, that might be the best, because they're the ones who would process that kind of thing. They haven't said anything to me about anything unusual in that way. Though, who knows? The smith, Grady, might also be able to give you something. He, works with others and things.
Yeah. All right.
If that is kind of the end of the major part of the conversation with the mayor, I'm going to call a 5-minute bio break.
Yeah.
So I will be right back.
Okay. 7 d6 plus.
That was the thing I
2.
wanted to show to fucking Asha for the last couple weeks.
I am going to investigate every possible method of getting the information out of this book, Ren.
When I heard that you had comprehend languages, I'm like, yes. Yes.
And then didn't work.
Uh-huh, but I'm glad it didn't, because that just makes it a bigger mystery.
That just means more information to dig into later.
Yeah, when it becomes relevant.
I am sleepy.
Because I'm... Did you say
I'm gonna
sleepy?
extract. I am, yes. I'm gonna extract information from that thing as soon as I fucking can. I think I already know the best way to do it. I need to be careful because doing the wrong thing could erase the information.
Oh my god! No.
But I can't do that unless I fuck up bad. And I'd have to do something extremely specific to fuck it up that bad.
Oh my god.
Kyron also might be able to help you figure out what the fuck the magic on it is.
God. Cypress would kill you if that happened.
That's why he's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do the thing that would make that happen.
It would be good to get that figured out, though, Joe. We'll have to see. It's a little side quest that'll help us later.
Fucking sleepy.
Okay. Yeah, I am frantically in the process of trying to get Ahara's whole ass sheet.
I gotta figure out
Fortunately,
I gotta figure out
because I did all the math already, I did the cheat sheet, it's just a matter of transcribing it.
Excuse me. I've gotta figure out
Also,
what
I will be right
feats-
back as well.
I need to figure out what feats to give Cypress.
Me too.
There's so
I don't know what
many.
feats-
Oh my god, Lance, you're so cute. Hi, buddy. Are you gonna clean your paw?
I'm watching Gen 1 vintage My Little Pony figure restorations. And I've been watching Gen 1 My Little Pony figure restorations for 3 days now.
Oh my god, I had one of those recommended to me earlier. I wanted to click on it so bad, but I was in the middle of a deep dive watching this guy go to expensive Japanese restaurants and order food there, and I was like, food.
I think we both have
Back, my
ADHD.
Yeah. I
Welcome
love
back.
restorations though, hi.
I have been waiting on watching the Quentin Review's 5-hour Sam and Cat video because I can't find a good time to do it.
It's good.
There's something severely wrong with everybody in this chat.
Which video is that that you talked about?
The 5-hour Sam and Cat retrospective.
Oh, dude, I would fucking watch the hell out of that.
Oh, it's a
It's
3-part
only the
series.
first half.
Oh my god, it's only the first half.
Oh my god, now I gotta
Yeah.
look that up. Bitches love
The
fucking...
same did an 8-hour video on Victorious. That is
We
worth
watched-
every minute.
We watched Quentin like pre-iCarly miniseries,
Mhm.
so it's been like really weird that now he's the iCarly guy.
Yeah. To be fair,
But-
I also knew Quentin earlier, but mostly as the Garfield guy.
Yeah, we also knew him as the Garfield guy. To be fair,
It's the Quentin
Uh,
Reviews
anyway.
one, right?
you either
Yeah,
die the
Quentin-
Garfield guy or live
Hog.
long enough to see yourself
I'm
become the
putting on this.
iCarly guy.
I'm putting this on my to watch later list.
You should start at the iCarly video.
Oh, yes,
Mhm.
that one exists also. I forgot about that.
Because it's a whole mini series. It's 2 parts of iCarly, 1 8-hour Victorious thing, and then
Is it the end
No,
of
there's
iCarly or the
there's
I
2
binged
Victorious
iCarly?
videos. One is 5
Oh.
hours, one is 8 hours, actually.
Right.
Mhm.
It's even worse.
Yeah. No, there are 2 iCarly videos. I think it's I watched iCarly, the end of iCarly,
Yeah.
and then
And
there's
then there's the failure of
videos.
Victorious, and then the end of Victorious, and then the scandal of
Yeah.
Sammy Cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched more of iCarly than I ever did of Victorious. So
I think everybody in the world did that.
yeah.
At least
I was too old for
Good.
Victorious.
I think Quentin Reviews makes an explicit point about the ratings numbers between Victorious and iCarly. So I think
Yeah.
literally everyone in the world watched more iCarly than they did Victorious.
Mhm.
We didn't watch either one, but there's this one scene from Sam and Cat that we saw at a friend's house that's like burned into our brain. It's not even one of the weird scenes. It's just where Cat just floats a bunch of apples in a fish tank full of cranberry juice and calls them crapples.
Oh my fucking god.
And it's seared into our memory. I don't know why.
Oh, that's a mood.
I'm gonna die if he mentions it because I don't know what episode it is. It's just.
Anybody remember Wizards of Waverly Place? Because I sure do.
I remember the ads for it.
God, that was my shit. Fuck Harry Potter. That was. Anyways,
So true.
Pathfinder.
Anyway, yes. The town is available for you to talk to or investigate as you please.
Who would we like to talk to first? Or do we want to start with what we want to know? Or what we need to get done?
I mean, we might as well go talk to Garrett and
Sure.
also let him know. Wait, was Garrett the medic or the male?
Yeah,
The
Garrett
medic.
is the medic.
Okay,
Grady
cool.
is the blacksmith. Garrett sort of has his sort of shop not too far from Town Hall, actually. It's a small little clinic that you mostly recognize due to the sign up front, which is a sort of a regional sort of sign that indicates medicinal help inside. And you poke your heads in, and it is a very small building, or at least it feels very small. It is like the room that you enter into is sort of this long rectangular room with a couple of seats and a fireplace at one end, and then you can see like back wall there are about 5 doors. And as the door shuts behind you, the door very on the farthest of the left side opens up, and you see Garrett kind of poke his head out, and he's kind of going, "Anyone dying, or can you wait 5 minutes?"
Cypress is just gonna wave him off, like, deal with your problems first.
Yeah, we can wait.
All right, and he shuts the door. But he leans back in. And you're there for 5-10 minutes before he comes back out of the door again. Oh, well. See you, folks. Nice to see you all again. You here for help or here for talking?
Here to talk. We've discovered some things that you might find interesting.
Alright. And he holds open the door that he just came from wide and kind of motions you all in. And inside seems to be a very small office space.
There's nobody in this office?
No.
No, this is like his administration office.
Yeah, Cypress is just curious why he made us wait 5 to 10 minutes. He's gonna do a little bit of looking around.
Make
if
a
that's
perception
okay.
check.
Oops,
Yeah.
I just dropped my dice. Good thing I didn't use that. Okay, that's still not a good perception. Oh, but I do have a 10, so that's an 18.
So there's nobody in here, but there are... On one wall there is, like, a shelving unit, and there's bottles of various liquids and powders and animal parts? Some of which, Cypress, you recognize kind of like particularly the dried plants, like, oh, it's his fucking herbalism supplies.
Yeah, for medicine.
For medicine.
Medicine.
There's another chest of drawers, sort of like against one wall, that are closed. You don't know what's inside. The room is very small, though. You all kind of manage to squish. But on his desk, you can see, it's fairly clear, but there is an ink pot and a quill with fairly freshly dipped ink on it. And a cabinet behind of him, that looks as though it would probably hold papers and paperwork.
Alright.
And the energy you got was less, he was working on a patient, and more,
Writing up.
he was working on paperwork, and if he could finish it and not lose his train of thought, he would have been greatly appreciative.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, that's honestly fair.
It's what I figured was the case, but, like, Cypress just had to double check. You never know.
Yeah.
There were only 3 chairs.
That's alright. Cypress can sit on the floor, and he does.
It's just...
Garrett kind of hops up on his little chair. He's a dwarf, so it's kind of, a little bit higher. As though he is a doctor, and so all of his things, his desk sitting, like, range is for the average height, and he has to modify.
Standard
And he goes,
heights.
alright. Yeah, he goes, alright. What you want to tell me?
Lorenzo will basically give the rundown of what we've discovered, same kind of rundown that we gave to the mayor.
A little bit in, he starts kind of, like, one hand up in his, like, his hands up in his beard, like, braiding absent-mindedly as he listens. Braiding and unbraiding. Yeah. And then when you finish, he just kind of goes, well, damn. Alright.
Yeah.
Maybe this will remind Garrett that sometimes his elders know things. I mean, Emmett, that his elders know things, though. I'm saying that about half of every fucking incident in this town. Reminder, Emmett is not a young catfolk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Remind me, this wasn't the guy that with Cypress like backed up, was it, or was it the other older guy?
It is him.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
good. This is the guy I was like,
this is the
ah
guy
ha. My buddy.
Emmett's an older catfolk. Garrett looks like a pretty old dwarf.
Yeah. My buddy. Cypress just nods in agreement.
So yeah, and we want to. Well, my thought was mostly warn you so that, while we're trying to fix this, if things start going a bit weird, you have warning before it gets really bad.
He nods. Well, the good news is I was keeping detailed records of those who came back as compared to their corpses beforehand, because I thought it was a bit of a weird thing that it was happening. So now I am justified. A second time. He's very much giving that energy of, like, you know, when your grandparent says something and is proven right and they're a little smug about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, the way grandparents are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you said you called it the Kingdom of Nudora.
Yep. Apparently they built a whole lot of their society on this rebirth thing, which kind of wild.
The stories my ma told me never really gave a name or it all being this sort of a birth cycle. Just said it was cursed. Said it was eaten up from the inside.
Did she ever mention a gracious mother?
His head kind of tilts. Yeah, I think she did once.
Cypress looks at the rest of the hall.
Now, if you didn't notice, I ain't a young fella. And it's been hundreds of years since I saw my ma. God's rest her soul. But I do remember something about a gracious mother. That seems right. I don't remember. He said that when she was young, her mom, so my grandma, used to sometimes say, oh, it was some sort of spirit or God. Grandma used to invoke her when someone would get sick, you know?
Right.
Prayer for recovery. I had never heard anyone else mention it before now.
There was a temple to her there.
Well, then I guess she was a god. Or is a god. I don't know. Gods ain't answered my prayers for about a century, so...
Cypress kind of cocks his head a little bit at that.
You're all too young. I know a lot of folks say they're still out there, but I swear we lost them and we lost everything else.
Well,
Oh, that's off topic, though. Nudora. Well, if you're planning on going back, be careful.
Oh, darn.
we'll
Is that
do our
in or out of
best.
character?
In character.
Cypress does follow that up with a "we'll do our best."
He'll do his best.
He gives you a look, but it's not much emotion there. It's just, it's like he's silently
Garrett-
saying Asha with his stare.
Mhm.
Garrett looks down at you, Asha, and there's an expression on his face that you know very well, which is flicking gnomes.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with that expression.
He goes, I mean, if this rebirth thing sort of causes a mutation in the body and the makeup of it, that would be a corruption from the inside, though. It was always eaten from the inside. That's what Ma used to say.
I mean, that does match a lot of the people we saw.
They did want to eat us, yeah.
He kind of grimaces.
Not fun.
I would recommend medically not getting eaten.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a particularly good way to.
If they're gonna try
But
to
I'm very
eat me, I'll
glad we
take
have
them
doctor's
down.
approval for the don't get eaten plan.
If they're going to try and eat me, I'll take them down with me.
If they're going to try to eat me, I'll eat them first.
What Cypress said, what Mr. Cypress there said was concerning, and what you just said was even more so, but, you know, considering, I think one way or another you'll be fine in the morning. Go ham, I guess.
We were just
Just don't-
informed by the elderly dwarf to go ham, and therefore, by, right of God, I have been commanded to go ham.
Grandpa said go ham, and so we shall.
He does go, don't come to me, though, if you need to, sew your arm back on. That's a you problem.
That'd be interesting.
I don't plan to lose an appendage. Cypress is
But I
wandering
ain't
around
had-
the room just a little bit, looking at things, because he's bored.
He goes, good, I ain't had the magical technology to reattach a limb for, again, a century, so...
That's unfortunate.
Actually, No, wait. The image crystal was. Wait, out of character. Has anyone relay? Ashley did relay that they were called like illusion discs or image discs or that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And that was something
Well, this-
Cypress
yeah,
confirmed too, that he had heard.
Actually, we did find something that you might have certainly more knowledge than I will.
Alright.
Something called image discs or illusion discs. They were a little.
And you call them holodiscs.
Yeah, he's a little confused, and then you say holodisk, and he goes, "Oh, you found one."
Found a couple.
You wouldn't happen to bring one, would you?
We brought one, right?
I
Cybers has
have a. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have one.
Would you mind if I looked at it, young fella?
I'm not young, but sure.
You're young compared to me, I think.
How old are you?
Ooh, we're getting into the 500s.
Ah. I'm just over 300. Still got a ways to go, but
Yeah, you
Not-
ain't looking as gray as I am. So.
no.
And I know your kind live longer than ours do, but still.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm old compared to the rest of these guys, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's worth saying. Believe me,
Item.
the difference between 400 and 500 is a lot. And as he says, he's taking it from you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the difference between 250 and 300, so much. Once you get up to that age, I can't imagine. 100 years is gonna be so much.
He nods. As he's kind of looking at this, he holds it in his hands and he looks at it and he's just like, "Oh, this is old. You still run on crystal?"
Maybe.
Hmm.
Did he ask, is it still running on crystal?
Yeah. Or does it still run on crystal?
Based on some of the one, based on a different one we saw, yes.
Yeah, that takes me back. This would have been old when I was young. This particular model of it, at least. If it's still on crystal. He's kind of got an expression on his face, like he's somewhere else completely in time,
Yeah.
in his memory right now. I remember Pa used to have one of these things. Swore the sound was better on crystal than the dimensional fabric.
The what?
He says the words dimensional fabric.
Yeah, no, Renzo's like, the what?
Oh wait, when we started moving off crystal because supply was hard to keep up, the artificial doesn't work as well as natural, and the mines were drying. They were able to recreate a lot of it with Listen, I'm a doctor. I'm trained in a
Doctor.
sense. I was never
Sorry,
an engineer.
Renzo kind of. Oh. my gifts are pulling things from pulling creatures, I should say, from other places. So I was curious if dimensional fabric tied into that. That might be something for me to see if I can find out more about.
No, it was, I can't even tell you what it was made of. You wouldn't know it. But it was like... It looked like fabric, but it was made of... None of you know what plastic is, do you?
Do I know what plastic is?
You and Cybus can both roll history checks.
I would love to roll a history check to
Yeah,
know what
fuck.
plastic is.
Little boy in the
Lorenza
woods.
does shake her head about knowing what plastic is, but she does also shape the word because it's...
Plastic.
31?
31.
19?
Cypress absolutely.
19. Cybus, I'm gonna give you this meta-wise. You have seen plastic, you don't know what it's called.
Okay.
Asha, you have seen the word, you've seen it, in historical, work used to refer to a synthetic material that was popular. Had a waxing and waning of popularity over
Mhm.
the course of the Akavian Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes people go, oh, the plastic straws are destroying the oceans, and it was the fucking fishing nets.
I mean, yeah,
So-
you're correct take, Joe. But as far as you know, you've never actually seen any. I say as far as you know because Asha has indeed run into plastic so far in the adventure, but doesn't know how to identify it when it's physically in front of them.
So true. Asha says, I've heard of plastic, yes.
Right, plastic's or it was what was the material made out of, made out of a liquid that was made out of bones.
Bone liquid.
What'd you say?
Cypress just said bone liquid aloud. That's it.
He is trying to explain to you what plastic is, knowing you won't know what, like, diesel oil is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with that particular example, the only frame of reference Renza has is, like, bone broth, and it's like, how would
Yeah.
you... What?
How does
But
soup
not-
make this unknown thing interesting?
And there were ways later that could make really complex forms of plastic that could be enchanted with certain capabilities. And it worked and it moved and it looked a lot like fabric. So they called it fabric.
Interesting.
It's not even enchanted, it's just straight up polyester.
See, okay, in my brain, it's like a polycarbonate, like, interweaving of fibers, like, similar to, like, a Kevlar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like,
Unfortunately,
yeah, he's like, how do I explain polycarbonate plastic chains?
Renza is just sitting here going, did they make soup into this? Hello?
Yeah. Renza and Cypress shaking hands. It's either soup or they crushed up the bones into little pieces and made them into a plaster.
Little bone slurry.
Yeah.
Anyway, they would use it to replace a lot of what was based on crystal. Pulling magics from either this plane or other planes. think they use a lot of... I don't know. I don't remember what holodisc fabric was off of. I think
Fair
the
enough.
Feywild?
Oh.
Or maybe one of the elemental planes. He seems like he's desperate, like, it would be like us trying to recall what you make, like, a gramophone out of.
Yeah.
After not seeing a gramophone for a couple of centuries.
There's metal there. And they
Yeah.
make they put it in a shape, like cone shaped, I think.
Mm-hmm. No, but Dad had a crystal. Pa had a crystal one that he kept around. Because he swore it sounded better. He used to play symphonies from it.
So if we find more of them intact, would you like us to bring them back so you can see them?
Yeah, I think... I mean, I can't really do much with anything you'd be able to find. I might be able to give you some information about it, but... if you want anything to be done with them, you'd have to take them down to Adelaide. See if she can't figure something out. Smart cookie, that girl is. Born in the wrong centuries. I swear.
I believe us getting a fucking CD player for our tunes on the road.
That'd be so good. Fucking imagine attaching like a fucking vinyl player to the back of a horse. Just
That's
oh my
we
god.
need a boombox. Adelaide, hook a bitch up.
Come on, make
Give
us a
us
boombox.
a boombox. I want to listen to the symphonies.
I want to serenade someone.
I need the symphonies.
We could be the first what do you want to call it? The first non-instrument playing band. They would never know. We're just playing things out of a magic box.
I was gonna say we're an a cappella group.
No. Play music.
I think we
without-
are an a cappella group, yes.
I mean, we could be. Who's stopping us? Gods? No, they're dead.
True.
We're all gonna dip into Bard purely for the purposes of being an a cappella group. This is gonna be everyone else's problem.
Yes.
Fake bards,
Oh.
importantly. We play just vinyl discs and pretend it's us.
Fucking vinyl discourse is real.
Well, it was once real.
They're all
And
dead.
it'll be real again if I have anything to say about it.
Vinyl, it's making a comeback. Several hundred centuries later. Well, not hundreds of centuries.
Anyway,
A few.
what's the next stop on
Um.
your Summerport adventure?
Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
Well, we can either tinker or we can ask, like, Butcher and Leatherworker about, hey, any fucked up animals?
That might be a nice place to start next. The butcher or leather worker.
So I do not have characters for the butcher and the leather worker.
That is alright.
So I'm just going to be able to tell you all that the butcher does not recall anything weird coming through his workspace. The leather worker, however, does recall a rabbit pelt being brought in that he thought was kind of interesting because it had more toes.
Oh.
But at the time had just thought it was like a polydactyl cat kind of situation.
Bonus toes.
Yeah, just a little guy with some bonus toes.
Bonus toes.
We do not have any of the bear pods.
We did. We grabbed
No,
some.
because we traded them.
Did we? Was that when
Yeah,
Yes,
we
you traded the bear
them for
parts.
the-
Yes, you traded the bear parts. You do have you still have the lizard parts.
I think
Yeah.
Cypress also got some cuts of the bear meat too. I don't know if we ended up eating that or not.
You probably ate it.
Okay.
Yeah,
take that off
and
my-
if we hadn't, it would have been like a week since we got it. So,
Oh, yeah, true.
One thing that I think Wenza is gonna do while we're sort of hanging out and around is let you guys know, but she's gonna do a little bit of the purify food and water potion, one of the purify food and water potions, into the Summerport water sample, because God knows what's in that water.
Yeah.
And if we want to fast travel to Summerport, that water should probably be okay to
What if?
put
Okay,
on
first
top.
of all, I have a suggestion of instead of doing that.
Uh-huh.
What if we boil it?
Because what if purifying it makes it so that we can't fast travel, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we need to run some I don't think we should purify all of it if we're going to purify it. I think we need to make sure that it doesn't fuck with it, but also we could just boil it. And then the bacteria is gone. But what if it's the secret moss particles in there that make it work? You have to eat moss.
Yeah, but we
I
don't
want
want
to try eating
mosquito
moss.
eggs. We don't want to eat mosquito eggs.
You can boil the mosquito eggs too.
Yeah.
Also, guys, I've been thinking
Mm-hmm.
about that mosquito corpse we found.
Yes.
And I don't think that it means what we think it means.
I mean, it might not.
Like,
because there was that journal entry about the mom died again, and her just coming back. She might have been at the end of her lifetime.
Yeah, like, the thing about the mosquito, we found the corpse of the mosquito that didn't drown. Instead, it simply died. But we have no way of knowing that that mosquito didn't come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We just
Since
know
the
that
body is left behind when you get restored.
Yeah, we just know that it died. So I think it's very possible that old people also come back.
Yeah. And they just have a terrible fucking time.
Which is fucked up. And I
Yeah.
want to run an experiment. I, PK, out of character, want to run the most fucked up experiment on my gnome. But I'm not gonna do that.
So much just terrible, awful. No.
I'm not going to do it, but know that I want to.
It makes you feel better. I am not taking the purity of the water into account. You're not gonna get dysentery with fast travel.
Thank God.
That's good. I think that would be a very funny
Way
throwback
to
to
die.
one of the most classic video games of all time.
You got dysentery and died.
You have died of dysentery.
Iconic.
Gamers,
Yes,
I'm
gamer.
going to be honest. I do not know if I have brain power to continue doing activities in Summerport, because I know that there are activities we need to do, but I don't know how to initiate or complete them because I'm tired.
Yeah.
I am also pretty tired.
This could be a good section to
Yeah.
call
Yeah.
off for now since we
I
got some
don't want to
information.
be like, gamers, let's stop session, but also I'm so tired and I want to be like awake for
Yeah,
gaming.
I feel that.
We can get more information next session and find some quest markers.
Yep.
Yeah. And
It's a-
get a boombox.
Get
It's a
some
good
funky little
round
side
2
quests.
hours we played. I think that's plenty for tonight.
I need a boombox so bad.
Boombox. Alright. Is there anything you'd like to close out with?
Yo.
Otherwise I can stop recording.
No, you're good.
Okay.